Here is a guide on how to manage relationships in Darkest Dungeon 2, you stressed out bastards. Gotta warn you that these tips do not work on relationships in real life. Suddenly starting to drink whiskey with your partner might get you mixed results, or it might actually help, who knows. Or going out of your way to find some cultists to kill with a friend for shits and giggles might not be perceived as a viable way to build relationships under law. This guide is more oriented towards early game when Altar of Hope is not fully upgraded and when you don't have that many trinkets, combat in and stagecoach items unlocked. First thing you should pay attention to is at Crossroads. Check each hero's traits and quirks to compile a team that is immediately gonna start off with relationship boosts. Traits such as Peacemaker are the ones you want, and quirks such as Doomsayer and Carmageddon are a big bloody no. Also, personality quirks affect encounters on the road chatter and so on. Here is a list of negative quirks relating to relationship management. Try removing them at field hospitals if you got some spare cash. Having heroes in party that can buff others, remove negative effects and use protective abilities like Defender and Sanctuary is extremely helpful, as each of these has potential to give positive relationship. Now this might also have to do with specific quirks and traits, but not sure how deep this system goes and what is correlation between each ability and quirk. Maybe quirk such as Needler gives positive relationship after being affected with positive buff or protective spell. Just spitballing here. If you know more about this, post in comments so that all of us can learn more. Same goes for items. I spend each run ton of relics on combat items because using them to heal, remove debuffs and buff can also lead to positive relationship besides being very helpful in general. So stack up on salves, weed, bandages and similar items. Most important item during early game for getting positive relationship is Whiskey Flask. Unlock it at Altar of Hope first. Wherever you see this item, be it field hospital, hoarder or in vendor, buy, no questions asked. Look at my inventory. If I could have more I would. Happy little boozer. More unlocked in items yields more options to get better relationship consumables. Up until chapter 3 Obsession I mainly used whiskey and pipeweed. At the inn, use relationship boosters to get relationship to 14 at least out of 20. At 14 there is no chance of negative relationship trigger. Positive is all good, but I'm mostly playing with mindset of getting to 14 with everyone first and then what happens happens. Anything to avoid negative relationship. Stagecoach upgrades play a huge role in all of this. First animal unlocked is a wolf cub that grants plus 10% positive relationship, which is a big help. I almost exclusively use this animal when possible. Then there is Spotted Steel that grants chance to produce whiskey items before each location. Do I need to say more? On top of that, items like Leaf Suspension and Tea Service can be found that grant plus 4 and plus 6 positive relationship. Lastly, there are encounters like assistance encounters, academic study and a lot of different combat encounters. Each one of these affects relationship in some way depending on quirks and traits. Almost a guarantee that there won't be negative relationship is to fight Oblivion battles, which are the toughest ones, but from my experience they almost always affect at least one character positively, with rarely negative relationship next to that. Don't know if I've seen once that Oblivion battle affects relationship negatively, but it might happen, depending on quirks I guess. Anyway, that would be all. Feel free to add stuff in comments since everything helps, and see you soon.